Yeah.
You want to like him, but you can't.
Are you listening?
What?
Are you listening?
Did you bring me on this show to insult me?
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
Hey, y'all don't want it with us, man. We straight gangsters over here.
Straight
man.
gangsters.
Ah.
Yeah, good morning and welcome back. That's right, you are listening to Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday. I am one of your gracious hosts. They call me Loudbeard.
You are the most egotistical.
Man, I'm having trouble with my intro today. That's okay. We're going to skip it because I'm Loudbeard and I can do whatever I want. And the man on the other microphone, he is a great American, a great patriot, and sometimes he's cool too. You guys know him as
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it is your boy Chris America coming to you live this Monday, July the 15th, 2019, here on 12ouncesportsradio.com. And Loudbeard, what is this blasphemous bombshell news drop you just sent me right before you turned on the intro music?
Well, I was just looking through some of my credible news sources, my news feeds. We do the show, and I have several different streams of information that come at me. Some sources are very viable, some aren't, but, I look through all of them. And right before the show started, I looked through my last source of information, my last stream of information, and 30 seconds before we go on air, I saw the bombshell of all bombshells when it comes to news articles. I didn't even get to read all the way through it, but there is some blasphemy going on the internet right now. That's right, Kobayashi, the great food connoisseur himself, the one that is probably second well-known in the competitive food eating arena, the second best known. He says that Joey Chestnut is a cheater. Can you believe that, Chris America?
Well, let's hear it from the horse's mouth. Now it doesn't want to play. Oh, we're going to go to a commercial first. You idiots. I hate the internet sometimes. Gonna play a commercial before a really juicy story. TMZ doesn't need to get paid. Why is there no skip button?
Who said it's from TMZ?
I did.
Okay.
Joey Chestnut, he ate 71 hot dogs last week, still the reigning champion. Can you give this guy credit? Does he deserve credit from you?
Are you asking me because you also think that might be a fib?
We know you guys don't like each other, and he doesn't. You don't like him. He doesn't like you. I mean, can you still give? Can you respect him?
I'm sure that Chestnut is really working hard at eating as much as he can. I'm sure, but and that's fine. I don't really care what those numbers are, but he does have a contract with MLE, George Shea, and they do want the numbers to go up, and so they, I'm sure, will do, if people want to believe those numbers, people will, and if they don't, they won't.
It seems like he's eating more and more every year. I mean, he hit 71, which is like a new high record. I mean, is this guy getting that much better, or is there something else we don't know about?
It is questionable that the size of the hot dogs are even the same from 10 years ago. They have altered their sizes.
Have the hot dogs gone down in size? Are there smaller hot dogs?
I don't know for sure, but the ones in the supermarket are 5 grams less than they used to be since 10 years ago.
A lot of people seem to think that Joey actually may be cheating a little bit, that he's not eating all the food. I figured you'd be the person to ask.
I have personally definitely witnessed some cheating, yes. One example, we were eating for a Pizza Pizzone competition years ago, and he was throwing the hardest part to eat, the crust, into the box the whole time.
Do you think the MO at these competitions were geared towards having Joey win as opposed to having you win?
Yeah, I think Shea wants him to win.
That's a relationship that's dead. Like you're never going to work at them MLE again. You're never going to be eating in the Nathan's contest again.
Oh, never.
Could you ever be friends? You can imagine ever being friends in your guy's lifetime.
Never thought about that.
Wow. Joey Chestnut's a cheater?
It doesn't surprise me. Joey Chestnut and John Jones are your two favorite athletes. So, do they have something in common, Chris America?
You know, I'm also a big Lance Armstrong fan, too.
At least he's clean.
Is he?
No. I have no idea. He's not. I mean,
think-
he wasn't when he
this sounds
raced.
It sounds like sour grapes to me, Loudbeard. This
Yeah, that's-
Kobayashi guy just has such sour grapes. Yeah.
Well, just think about that Nathan's hot dog eating contest. That's like on television. Like, how do you cheat in front of a camera? I mean, I get the pizza eating contest where maybe he slid a little crust to the side and threw it to the bottom, and that could have happened. Not a big deal. Whatever. It is what it is. But on live TV with the Nathan's hot dog, like you see those hot dogs going down. There's no CGI to make it. This is a real deal. So I don't
And then
think
he's
that this
complaining
is
about
true.
he's complaining about the size of the hot dogs too. It's like, okay, so they're smaller. What difference does that make? Like I
Yeah,
get
like-
that you can eat more, but the thing is that's just it is what it is. He's still eating 71 hot dogs. I don't care how small or big. It's not like they were, cocktail weenies. Like these are still full-size hot dogs.
Well, they're 5 grams less than what they were 5 years ago.
Well, I mean,
But
if he thinks he
isn't
can
that
get
the same
71
for
of those
everybody,
hot,
though?
exactly. So if he thinks he can down more than 71 hot dogs, then mend your relationship with MOE and go compete against him and eat these 5 gram less hot dogs and see if you can beat him.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think this is sour grapes. This is a guy that's obviously second fiddle to the greatest of all times, Joey Chestnut, and he's just trying to knock him down a peg. It's just I'm not buying it. I'm not buying
Yeah.
it. Now,
And if
it is what
MOE
it is.
made the hot dogs less,
yeah, if they
then
stop
so
deflating
be it.
them.
Right. So if just like with baseball, if MLB wants to juice the balls, I say let them juice the balls. Who cares? Like we do want to see more hot dogs eaten. We do want to see more home runs. We want to see longer field goals. This is just what we live for.
I completely agree. This is the age of offense, right? We're smaller hot dogs. We've got juiced baseballs. We've got quarterbacks who get brushed by a defensive lineman, and all of a sudden it's roughing the passer without any actual offense or defense happening. So that's the
Remember
world
that
we
whole,
live in
like,
now.
Remember that whole landing on top of the quarterback thing? It lasted for 2 weeks. We complained about it, and then they're like, "Well, we're not going to change the rule," but then they just never called it again.
Called it again, yeah. And that's the day and age that we're in, Chris America. That is the day and age that we're in. Speaking of the day and age that we're in, and I didn't get a chance to ask you about this, but you were hyping it up pretty good last week. So did you have an opportunity to go see that was it Schuber or Scoober? What was the name of that movie?
I did see Stuber yesterday with a friend.
Stuber, that's
Yeah.
the one. Okay, so can we get a full review on this? Because I'm really
so
inquiring minds want to know.
So overall, it was and it wasn't the movie I expected. I expected way more comedy, but it was more of an action movie with chuckles in it. So it was pretty good. It wasn't as funny as I thought it was going to be, but they made up for it with a bunch of like action, and the storyline was okay. And the two of those guys, I'm not sure of the other actor's name, but Batista and the other guy in the movie, they made a pretty good, decent duo and made for a good buddy cop movie where one guy isn't a cop.
All right, so is Batista going to be the next Rock? Yay or nay?
No, he's not there. He'll still be in movies like this one, and he'll have other roles, but he's not going to be the guy that's going to be jumping from film to film to film like The Rock is.
Gotcha. He's more like a John Cena when it comes to acting.
He's somewhere in between The Rock and John Cena, yeah.
Okay, that's the measure. I'll take that. Yeah, I was thinking, I'm like, because this is one of those movies that I have no idea if it's going to be amazing or a stinker, right? It's like somewhere could fall anywhere on that spectrum.
I rate movies like this. They're either go see in the theater, wait for it to go on Redbox, or wait for it to go on Hulu. This is a wait for it to go on Redbox type movie.
Okay, so right in the middle.
Yeah.
You don't have to
You
go
don't
out
have
and
to
buy
go
your
see
tickets
it. I mean,
today.
if you go buy your ticket, if you go see the movie, you'll be like, okay, that was an enjoyable experience. If you like want to go see the movies, you don't really want to see anything else that's showing, Stuber's there, you have interest in Stuber, you can go see it. And it's not a total waste of $10 to $15, depending on how much your movie theater charges. But if you don't have that feeling, make it a Redbox Friday night.
All right. I like it. Okay, so since we're already on movies, I got one other little bit of movie information to share with you, Chris America. I don't know if you knew this or not, but over this past weekend, The Blair Witch turned 20 years old. One of the most successful, if not the most successful, independent movie of all time. You remember when this came out?
Oh, this is a big deal here in Orlando because the Blair Witch producers or writers or something like that were from UCF. They were UCF students. And
yes, they were.
Big deal was they made a big deal about how they were UCF students and how I think it only cost something like $100,000 to make, or a very low amount of money because of the way they filmed the movie. And it was a big time phenomenon, but that was also one of those things where you went and saw it and you either loved it or you hated it. Where it either lived up to the hype for you or you were just like, oh, that's it?
Yeah, it really was. And the other thing, I remember a lot of rumors going around like, this is real. Remember that being a thing?
Yeah, I remember because we were in, when did that movie come out? You said how many years ago? 20 years ago, so 99?
Yep, 20 years ago.
So I was in high school. I think I remember thinking like that had to be real, or I can't believe that was real. But then as soon as I left the movie theater and like the magic wore off, I was kind of like, no, I feel like if they found a tape like this, I would have seen this on the news somewhere.
Yeah, you had to go through logic, right? Like you logically worked it out in your head and you're like, no, this isn't real. But a lot of people felt that it was real, and it almost came off the movie itself. And I think that's what created the success is, wow, this could be real.
You know what? You couldn't do that today. Because as soon as the credit starts rolling, or even halfway through the movie, I would bust out my phone and just Google, is the Blair Witch Project real? Well, you couldn't do that on your Nokia back in 1999.
That's true. That's what's kind of bad with the world nowadays. We have all this information at our fingertips. We almost have too much information. A good fake movie sometimes helps us out when we think things are real, and they're not. But we can do it on the phone. You're right. Blair Witch would not fly nowadays. Now we're too spoiled.
Yeah, we always hear like we see previews now before you even see previews at the movie theater. I was talking about that with a buddy that I went with, how previews are kind of ruined because you don't get to see them anymore, or you see them like well in advance. Like by the time the Star Wars trailers start rolling at the movie theaters, you've seen all 5 of them.
Yeah, social media has kind of ruined that because as soon as one gets released, wherever it gets released, it's on people's feeds and you see it and it definitely kills it. I used to actually love, that was one of my favorite parts of going to the movies, is watching the trailers for the future movies. So not only are you going to watch a great movie while you're there, you get to think about, okay, what movies 6 months from now, 3 months from now do I want to go see? And yeah, the whole movie trailer experience has definitely been ruined.
I mean, I just love the trailer experience because I like going to the person next to me and be like, that looks like garbage. We're definitely going to see that.
So cliche this morning, Chris America. You are the cliche moviegoer.
We love it. You brought up the Blair Witch Project, which is a non-real horror story. I found a news story this weekend off of a meme, actually. The meme had nothing to do with the news story. They just used the guy's face, but there was the headline at the bottom. And I was like, I need to check out that news story. So I Googled it, and I found it. And this is a horror story for you, Loudbeard. Listen to how this news story ends. And if they made this into a movie, would you be able to go see it?
All right. Let's hear it.
Last May, his beard was cut off, stuffed in his mouth, and he was ordered to eat it.
But that's only the beginning of what a Lawrenceburg man says he and his brother endured, all because of the fight over a lawnmower. Jackie Congedo spoke with Harvey Westmoreland and joins us now.
Well, Kevin and Nancy, sentencing for the 2 men charged in the attack is next Tuesday. And for Harvey Westmoreland and his brother, it's been a long year and a half, and they're ready to put this episode behind them. That's the LEX 18 big story at 11.
pretty good gas.
At least that's what Harvey Westmoreland and his brother Joseph used to think about former friends Troy Holt and James Hill. That was before May of last year on Willisburg Road, where Holt used to live.
My brother was cleaning out the stalls out there for Troy, working for him. And they call, want me to come around there. Well, when I get there, I realize that they're already drunk.
And of all things to fight about, Westmoreland says, punches started flying over this lawnmower.
Troy offered to buy it from me for $250. I paid $20 for it. He thought I was trying to cheat him. One thing led to another, and before I knowed it, there was knives and guns and everything just went haywire.
He says his brother had a mark on his neck where a knife was held, but Westmoreland's loss was more permanent.
They cut my beard and forced me to eat it.
He says Holt and Hill let them go, but threatened them.
If we called the police, they said we would not live to see daylight.
But that wasn't enough to keep the two brothers from calling 911.
I believe in the law. I believe that justice has been served. And, it will be after Tuesday.
That's the sentencing date. And while it'll take some time for some things to grow back to normal,
it's not as long as it was.
Westmoreland says what's more important, he and his brother lived to tell the tale.
I was actually in fear for my life.
I bet.
And I was really in fear for my brother's life.
Sentencing for James Hill and Troy Holt will be next Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. in Lawrenceburg Circuit Court. Back to you.
Both Hill and Holt have pled guilty and are expected to be fined and sentenced to supervised diversion.
Loudbeard, is that a fair enough punishment for cutting off a man's beard and making him eat it?
I say it's death.
Definitely,
Electric chair,
definitely, right? Yeah.
Stoning. There's definitely a stoning that needs to be done with that. You don't do that. That's just I don't even. The words.
Would you see that
I can't
horror
even
movie,
come up with them.
Loudbeard? Would that be the worst horror movie for you to see a man getting his beard cut off and then forced to eat it?
Yeah, that's.
They'd
I've
probably
never
give you
seen anything
nightmares.
like that. I've never even heard of anything like that. I don't even know how to react
Only
to
in
something
Kentucky.
like that. Wow, this is a
Kentucky.
Is that a Kentucky man story?
That is a Kentucky man story.
Dang, Chris America. Well, Chris America, I don't know if I could live with myself if I had to shave off my beard and eat it. I've already had to shave off my beard once when we did a beard bet, and that hurt real deep down inside, and I don't know if I could ever do such a thing again. So if someone forced me to do that and eat it, I couldn't do it. But
it'd be a whole new perspective on eating crow.
Yeah, it would be. It would be. It'd be.
And I was
quite
waiting
the
for the old. I was waiting for the old newsroom pun, and it never came. I was disappointed.
Yeah, you very disappointed, aren't you?
Yeah, I always look for the newsroom puns when I watch the news.
Well, nowadays you don't have to do the Kentucky man revenge. There's other ways that you can get revenge on somebody, especially if you're not happy with them. So AHL, affiliate of the NHL, it's one of the developmental leagues in hockey. So they have an app. They tell all of their people that come and visit their games, hey, download our app. It's a great app. I'm sure you can get food ordered from the concessions. You can get highlights and stats and all this stuff. Well, there's a man that hacked this app. And when he hacked the app, all of these AHL hockey fans were getting notifications about throat punching and a $6,000 debt that is owed. So somebody who is mad at a Stuart Zimmel put on these push notifications for this AHL hockey app a bunch of stuff about Stuart. And I'm going to read a couple of these for you, Chris America. So the first one says, Stuart Zimmel, since I have no way to contact you, you owe me nearly $6,000. Okay, this person has bad English. I would ask you to contact me about payment. Also, I'm filing a workplace report against you for threatening to punch me in the throat. Okay, that's interesting for Stuart Zimmel. It also, the next one says, Stuart Zimmel threatened to punch Ian Bowman in the throat. So this is the actual push notification you get on your phone. And then it says, from the AHL, it says, there is an error with this application. Please uninstall.
Wow. Like, no, I'm not uninstalling. Things are just getting juicy.
Yeah, the NHL, because it's an affiliate of the AHL is an affiliate of the NHL. They came out and they issued an apology out there, but from all the reports, most people just found it entertaining and not offended because everybody knows that this is not like somebody coming to attack them personally, unless it's Stuart Zimmel. He's the only guy that would really feel threatened by this whole mess. I don't even know who Stuart is.
Poor Stuart. His life is changed forever. He's like, he's gonna go to parties, and then people are gonna say, "You're that guy."
Well, this one notification says he threatened to punch Ian Bowman in the throat. I wonder if Ian Bowman is the guy that did this, or if Ian was like, you know what? I got a friend who's like a super great coder, and I think he can hack into the AHL app and then send this out. So, yeah, this is a weird story, but if I was the AHL, man, I would take this and run with it. Use this as a marketing campaign.
Plus, I never take somebody threatening to punch me in the throat as a serious threat. Because you know how difficult it is to actually punch somebody in the throat? Everybody says it, but nobody actually does it. How many throat punches have you ever really seen in life, Loudbeard?
Yeah, not too many. By the time somebody's reach gets to your throat, you're usually either moving or putting your chin down or doing something.
It's a difficult target to hit. You got to get in between the chin and the chest, and most likely you're going to hit the shoulder or the chin, or I don't know. It's just something we say. I'm going to punch you in the throat. Just because the visual, I guess, of it is pretty horrifying.
Yeah, it's not a real thing. I mean, in movies, there's the throat punch in movies. We all see it.
Oh yeah, you get like
real
Steve
life,
Seagal and what's his name? God,
Rambo.
I'm so bad with names.
Come on, you're
Monday
going
morning.
with Rambo.
Oh, speaking of Rambo, there was a trailer for Rambo coming out. Another Rambo. They're calling it First Blood. I guess people are coming to him at his farm. He's an old man now, and I'm just sitting here thinking, I would have rather you just did a remake rather than do another one with Sylvester Stallone.
They're calling it First Blood again?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Why don't they call it Last Blood? Like, let's get it over with.
Or Old Blood, you know? Like, I don't know.
Or coagulated blood.
I mean, it looked okay. A lot of scenes, but just Sylvester Stallone, like old men like him just don't do it for me anymore.
Yeah, kind of like Brock Lesnar winning the Universal Championship last night. Just doesn't do it for me anymore. Yeah.
They're still giving that guy belts?
Yeah. The Twitter reactions like, Brock coming back and winning the belt, mixed reaction from fans. Yeah, because everybody's done with that, man. It's just so recycled same old crap BS storylines, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's just, I don't know. I don't.
Undertaker fought last
anymore.
night, too.
Did he really? Now that's an old man. There's an old man.
I was
Still
looking,
wrestling.
I'm like, Undertaker, come on, man. You can hang him up. You don't need to be out there.
Okay, Loudbeard, I saw it wrong. It was Rambo Last Blood. You were correct.
Oh, is it Last Blood?
Yeah, it is
like
Last
that.
Blood.
There we go. Somebody's listening to me. Thank you, Jesus.
It must have been one of those things where
appreciate
your eyes play tricks on you, and you're like, really? I don't know.
Well, hopefully this means it's the last Rambo that we get.
Yeah.
Now, could you do a new actor as Rambo?
Huh?
Could you do a reboot of Rambo without?
Oh, for
with
sure.
Like a new. You could. Okay.
Yeah. Just because it's what we're doing now, we're rebooting everything.
Yeah, it's a very good point. We
I'm waiting for them
want
to
to recycle
redo
everything.
Die Hard movies.
Yeah, without Bruce Willis, that would be hard to take, but it's going to happen eventually. Anything that's been successful, we want to redo,
we do.
recalculate, regurgitate, and resubmit out to the world any chance we can get. And that's all. Yeah, it's a true story there, Chris America.
It's a true story.
That's why Schuber, or whatever that movie was called, was it's such a good movie because it's the first time anybody's ever done something like that.
It's the first time anybody's had a cop kidnap or use a civilian that's kind of nerdy and dorky, and they make a ragtag team. Never happened before.
When you put it that way, it sounds very, very clean and reused and recycled.
I mean, any action movie you see is reused and recycled. Any action movie, they're all the same.
Well, it's like fighting's all the same except when you get an action star like Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber in the ring.
Yes.
That's when it can get exciting, and that's what the world needs. We need to mix up what we think is entertainment and create new entertainment. And Floyd Mayweather, he puts out a notice to Justin Bieber and lets him know that he wants to be able to promote this fight. Now, if Floyd Money Mayweather gets in the promoting business with this fight, this thing, I'm telling you, it could still happen. I'm still holding out hope, Chris America.
Let me see how much Tom Cruise's net worth is to see how much money it would take to throw at Tom Cruise to do this. Because I feel like he's worth a lot of money.
Oh, yeah. Tom Cruise has got to be worth it. Hopefully you're looking it up on your stat finding machine.
It is. He's worth about $570 million. He's the
so
second
what will it
richest
take
actor
for him to get out of
worldwide.
bed?
Yeah, it would probably take a Mayweather payday, a $300 million payday.
Yep. Wow.
Do you think more people would watch Bieber versus Cruz than they did McGregor versus Mayweather? I think they would. I really do, because you gotta take into account all the Bieber fans, and then you gotta take into account everybody that just wants to see the circus. I think this would be huge. Tom Cruise, I think you need to do it. Pay the man his $300 million, and let's go.
Well, the nice part about this is that there were such polarizing characters, right? Tom Cruise, he's a love-hate type of guy. A lot of people hate him for some of his antics, some of his beliefs.
I'm not a fan. I'm down to watch Tom Cruise get punched in the face for real.
Or throat. Yeah, throat punch. And then Justin Bieber, he's a guy that, there's a lot of fans of his, but there's a lot of people that think he's a douchebag, including myself. I'd like to see him get beat up by Tom Cruise.
That's like a win-lose situation for me, too, because I don't like either one of these guys. So one of them has to win. And so it'd be a win when I watch one of them get beat up, but then I have to look over and see the other one celebrating, and so it's a lose.
Yeah, how do you take that? And then what if you got Mayweather on the side and you're like, well, if this fight happens, Mayweather's going to get, he's going to get a bunch of money from the fight, and you're like, that dude doesn't need any more money. Now, what
Only
the best
America,
scenario
Loudbeard.
would be, Chris America,
Only
the
in
best
America.
scenario would be if we go out there, they both knock each other out, and they're both lying on the ground. Mayweather runs in, and he starts doing the old wrestling where he starts tapping it down to 10 to see who gets up first,
Yeah. Yep.
And then when he gets to, 9, McGregor slides in under the ropes, pushes Mayweather off, and then they start fighting, and then you get a double Mayweather, McGregor, and Tom Cruise and Justin Bieber fight. That would be the end.
Well, that would set you up for your
there.
next. If it's the wrestling world, that sets you up for your next pay-per-view. Like you see them wrestling in the ring, and then you fade to black, and that's how you get the next fight going. You're like, well, how did that fight end? Well, you're gonna have to watch next pay-per-view.
There we go. See, we're already setting it up. You and
See,
I
thought
could
you
be
were
the
gonna
promoters.
I thought you were gonna go a different route with it to where everybody loses in this fight, and it's where they both knock each other out, and then we as society, we all agree that only one person's going to buy it, and then the rest of us are going to what is it called? Periscope it off of that feed, and so they make no money. They actually lose money on the fight, and it's wins for America because we get to see Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise knock each other out, and then we get to watch Mayweather go bankrupt for promoting this fight and nobody buying it. But we all get to see it too.
That would be the greatest story ever.
It'd be the greatest
made.
pirating story of all time. And you could be the star of the show, instead of Redbeard, because you remember Redbeard was a pirate? It would be the Loudbeard, the pirate that led it all.
I can't top that with anything else. So we're
So
going to
just go to
move
commercial
on.
break?
Let's go to a commercial break. On the flip side, here, why not? Let's talk some tennis. No, maybe not. Let's not talk tennis. You know what I can talk about? NFL. I can feel it. It's coming back, Chris America, and I've got the perfect story leading us into the next football season. Hey, Kawhi, what are you laughing at, man? This isn't funny. Fantasy sports reimagined. FanDuel, that's what I'm talking about. It is more than just fantasy sports. It's the best way to watch the games, win real cash, and bring the action right to your living room. Just choose a contest, make your picks, watch, and win. And if you go to FanDuel.com/STR today, you can get a $5 deposit bonus. Once again, that's FanDuel.com/STR. Come on, man. This is not a laughing matter. If you've been listening to Scout Team Radio for a long time, you know that myself, Loudbeard, has placed a bet or two in his day. That's right, I've lost the beard bet, I lost the romper bet, but one place I don't like losing is when I bet money, and I can easily do that at MyBookie. That's right, you can go to mybookie.ag, use promo code 12OZSports, and get a 100% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Hey, guess what? That is a lot of money. Do it.
Hi, everybody. Captain Lou here from the Captain Lou Extravaganza, coming to you live every Tuesday night on 12ouncesportsradio.com from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. Yeah, it's a different name, but it's still the same great show. We're going to have guests every week live on the show, and we'll have your opinions as well as mine, and we'll see whose is better and obviously whose is right. That's every Tuesday night live, the Captain Lou Extravaganza from 8 until 10 p.m. Eastern Time on 12ouncesportsradio.com.
Hey, what's up there, listeners? This is your friendly neighborhood Loudbeard, and I'm here to tell you that there's two type of people in the world, those that are on a podcast and those that want to be on a podcast. And if you are one of those out there that want to be on a podcast, one of the first decisions you will need to make is which podcast host you want to use. That's right. If you're thinking about starting a podcast, you need to check out Podbean. Here at Scout Team Radio, we have been using Podbean since the very beginning, and we absolutely love it. They are easy to use, and they have affordable options. Just go to podbean.com/STR. That's right, Scout Team Radio. Podbean.com/STR to get started today. What are you waiting for? Thank you all for listening in. Once again, we are Scout Team Radio. We bring it to you hot and live each and every morning, Monday through Friday. And we are here on this beautiful Monday morning, and we are loving it so far. He's Chris America. I'm Loudbeard. We bring it to you live on 12 Ounce Sports Radio. We also simulcast on the Full Press Radio Network. And we are a big part of the Barn Burner Podcast Network. So you can find us in many different places. If you need to find our podcast, you can always go on Apple Podcasts, Spotify Podcasts, anywhere you find a podcast, search Scout Team Radio, and you will find all of our episodes, dating back to our first episode, which was 2 years ago. That's right, we are 2 years old. We are in the terrible twos. Deal with it. It's not that bad, I promise. So get social with us. Hit us up on Twitter at Scout Team Radio. You can hit us up. We will read your tweets on air. We will get social with you, and it could be a lot of fun. Make sure you check us out on Twitter. You can hit us up live while we're on the show from 6 to 7, or you can just hit us up in general, and we can still read your tweets on the air on tomorrow's show. So please do that. We would appreciate it. Chris America, the way I know that NFL is getting close and that I can smell the turf in the air and I can feel the concussions happening is the first holdout of the big new football season, and Melvin Gordon, running back for the Los Angeles Chargers, he is the big first profile guy that says, that's it, I'm holding out, I want more money. He's on that rookie deal where he's not getting paid nearly as much as he probably should, but Melvin Gordon comes out and says, you can't replace a great running back. They're just irreplaceable, and running backs should be getting paid second to quarterbacks on an NFL roster. So, number one, are you ready for some football? And then number two, what do you think about this running backs worth as much or being second in value to quarterbacks? And you can give me a moment of silence if you would like. to pay tribute to my greatness, Chris America.
No, that's not happening.
That's too late. You already did it.
You know, Loudbeard, I was thinking about that hockey story. And you ever had something big go down at a job and you heard about it? It was over the weekend and people kind of called you like, oh, did you hear about this thing? And so you can't wait. It's kind of one of those Monday mornings where you can't wait to get into the office because you know they're going to have a meeting about it to where you're going to get vague details, but you're also going to get juicy details as to what not to do because they don't ever try to call people out in front of everybody, but they also tell you like, don't do this and don't do that. Have you ever had that experience before, Loudbeard?
Yeah, I feel like I have. I can't narrow it down to a specific occurrence,
event, but you know that you've been in that.
But it's
situation.
happened. Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you're just glad. One, you're just glad it's not you. That's the one that got in trouble. So you get to kind of just quietly sit in the back, hide your expression of like entertainment, where you're getting your popcorn ready, but at the same time you're just trying to be serious, and you feel a little bit bad if it's a coworker you like.
Yeah,
but if it's a coworker you like, then you probably know what happened.
Yeah, yeah, you do know what happened. You know, I'm picturing it myself. You're sitting there, and if you're an employee for the AHL, whatever team this was that this happened for, you're sitting there and you're like, that's weird. Look at these weird notifications I'm getting. You're probably sitting at home showing your wife or husband or whoever you're sitting there next to, and you're like, oh, look, this is super weird. About 10 minutes later, you get a email from work, and it says, attention employees, all staff members to meet Monday morning, 9 a.m. in the conference room.
Yep.
We have a important meeting to discuss current affairs of the league. And you're like, I wonder if this has to do with somebody throat punching that guy on Stuart Zimmel.
And even by the time you get to that email, you've texted like 15 of your coworkers saying, do you see these? Like you've screenshotted the thing, the notification. Did you see this? Oh, yeah, I saw it. What's the story about? I don't know, but things are going down at the office. We're going to find out.
Oh, yeah. Major shakeup.
So right now, probably around 8 a.m. is when that meeting's going to go down.
Oh, can't wait. Can't wait. They might have had an emergency Sunday meeting. I don't know when this thing played out.
That was probably done by like the big wigs, and then the overall like don't do this. So the major meeting's got to happen at the IT department. Whoever runs that app, that's where the major meeting's going to happen.
Yeah. They're like, I thought you said we were up to date with all of our security features.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, well, we're on version 2.0, and there's a version 25.3 that was released. We're a little behind. Hackers could come in and hack us anytime. We just thought we only have 5,000 subscribers, and we're an amateur hockey league. We didn't think it mattered.
If these are employees of the company, then they're going to be like, okay, we need to reevaluate who has access to this app, like who can log in and change things and send notifications.
Yeah, we went ahead and looked on Facebook to see if anybody else has threatened to throat punch Stuart Zimmel, and this is not good.
Not good at all. Well, Loudbeard, you said you wanted to talk tennis?
Oh, yeah, there was some tennis. I asked you a question. You probably didn't hear it because you were coming in giving me the moment of silence for appreciation. But so I was just saying football's coming, and the reason I know football is coming is because the first major holdout of the season has been announced. Melvin Gordon of the Chargers is holding out, and he's saying that he feels that running backs should be paid second highest on the team behind quarterbacks, that a good running back is not replaceable. What are your thoughts on these comments?
I don't think they're not replaceable unless you are, above and beyond. And there's really only like 3 to 4 guys I think are above and beyond irreplaceable. I don't know that Melvin Gordon's it. I felt like, your boy over there, Le'Veon Bell, I felt like he was one of those guys. He's the guy that brought some specialty, some things that not everybody can do. Now the Steelers, they made the system work with whoever else they put in there, but it just wasn't the same production that they got out of Le'Veon Bell. Melvin Gordon, I feel like is Le'Veon Bell, Bud Light, sweet tea. That's what Melvin Gordon is. Did you see they have like a new sweet tea or iced tea, Bud Light, Loudbeard?
I didn't see that, but I can believe it because they went Bud Light Orange, Bud Light Lime. And now Bud Light
they
Sweet
got
Tea.
Bud Light iced tea or sweet tea or green tea or something tea. And that's what Melvin Gordon is. Like, he's a watered down version, and he's also got kind of that tea flavor where you're just like, I mean, I'll drink it if I have to, but I can deal without. And I think the Chargers can deal without Melvin Gordon. I really do.
Yeah, I agree with that. And but hold out. Now we're getting our first NFL news. We're getting pumped. I do have another bit of NFL nugget I want to go over, but you talked a little tennis, and it was a huge weekend for tennis. This is like the one time a year where it's like okay for you to talk tennis. So, Chris America, did you see that tennis?
I did. Federer got second place, right?
He's the first loser, yes.
Yes. And did Serena win or lose? I can't remember. I know she was in the finals, and she
made it to the finals. Simona Halep.
Simona Halep. She ended up winning. She's the number 1 tennis player in the world, right, Simona?
Yeah, Simona won, and Serena's looking to get the 24th major in her singles career, which would be a record-tying 24th, and she seems to just keep falling short. So she's at 37 years old, and so is Roger Federer, and both of them playing at a very high level at this point in their career.
To the finals all the time.
Yeah, and it's just now Federer, he hasn't been falling short as much. He's been doing really well, but Serena, it seems like the last couple majors, she gets there and just can't finish. So, but good storyline for us to talk about.
That's what she said.
It never gets old. So that was us talking tennis, brought to you by Balls.
Wasn't that an energy drink?
Yeah.
I feel like that was like a cartoon energy drink.
I prefer Monster.
Spell with a Z.
Ballz.
Yep.
Balls out. Remember there was a thing, I think you used to play with it like in the pool. It's called the Balzac. You remember that? No?
No.
Never mind. That's a terrible name for a thing, though, for a kid's toy.
It really was.
All right, so Chris America, I'm going to talk about this other NFL story real quick. So the league is coming up on the CBA, the collective bargaining agreement, which means that there could be holdouts, and they
all
want to come up
NFL
with new
fans
rules.
love.
Oh, it's terrible. Absolutely terrible.
Every sports fan
But-
loves a good battle between the
Holdout
owners
threatened.
and the players.
Yeah, it's terrible. It's absolute. I hate it. But what the league owners are proposing to players is an 18-game season, but limiting players to only be allowed to play 16 games.
I've always liked this idea, Loudbeard.
I do too. I was thinking about this. I'm like, this is a win-win. The players, they're not going to be subjected to more punishment, so they're limited to 16 games. But the revenue stream could be an additional $2.5 billion for the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
And if the NFL makes more money, you know who else makes more money?
The players
The
make more money.
players.
Usually.
Yes. Yeah. I mean, they're not going to make all of that money, but
No,
they're
no,
going to
no,
make
but they're
a
gonna
pretty
get
good
more.
percentage of it.
Yeah. So my question, though, is how are the coaches going to handle this? Because my only fear is that all of the coaches are just going to take the first 2 weeks off of the season and just start a whole bunch. Like, they're basically just going to extend the preseason. And so I don't know if I want that for the first 2 weeks of football. So maybe do they cut down the preseason to 2 weeks or 2 games and then have this 18-game schedule?
I think so. I mean, I don't know if that's what's being proposed. I mean, I'm sure it'll be different variations of what is being proposed before they come to an agreement, if they come to an agreement. But yeah, imagine that. Only 2 preseason games. You jump into football quicker. For the NFL, they can jump in a week ahead of the college football instead of a week behind it, which to me would be a marketing win. But hey, who am I? Who am I to say that this is the best idea ever?
I do think that my guess is coaches will do that. The first 2 weeks of the season, they'll be like, let's just roll out all of our second and third string guys. We'll play with that for the first 2 weeks. If we win, we win. If we lose, we lose. And then we'll just go do like we've always done, do a 16-game regular season. And I think that would be great for teams that have, like your Washington Redskins, that have a rookie quarterback going in, because you can kind of throw him into the fire in those first 2 weeks to see how he does. And then if he doesn't do well, you can kind of pull him back and roll with your other boy, Case Keenum.
Yeah. No. Well, and I think this is also a win for those backup quarterbacks out there in the league. So think of all those guys that have sat behind Tom Brady and then have sat behind Peyton Manning. They would never see the field. But if you're a backup quarterback that's, let's say, a third or fourth round draft pick that's just wanting to get some game experience, now all of a sudden Tom Brady's limited to 16 games. The other 2 games you have to play somebody else. And when you look at these guys, like over the years, the Matt Castles, the Jimmy Garoppolo, whoever, Ryan Mallett's of the world, these guys would get the exposure behind Tom Brady when normally they wouldn't. Now, there's some quarterbacks out there that are injury prone anyway, so these backups get a chance. But there are some quarterbacks that are like Iron Men that never miss a game, and their backups sit there like, dude, I want a shot because I could be the next starter on another team if you let me go out there and at least get some experience. So to me, for the players, this is a win, especially, and that's at every position. We're talking quarterbacks, but you can at every position get more experience out there.
Unless you're that quarterback that loses his job in those 2 weeks that he has to sit, then it's a loss. But that's the way sports is. Scotty Kaiser checking in. Thanks for checking in, Scotty. You can hit us up at Scout Team Radio on Twitter. He says, in a league that devalued running backs over a decade ago, trying to flex on the franchise that allowed one of the GOATs, that's in LaDainian Tomlinson, walk, ain't nobody got time for slightly above average Melvin. He's playing himself. And then he posted a GIF from Pulp Fiction, the scene where they shoot Marvin in the face, or they shoot Marvin in the car, and then it's the, oh man, I shot Marvin in the face. And Scott Kaiser makes sure we know that Marvin and Melvin are the same thing.
I think Marvin or Melvin is shooting himself in the face by holding out, man. Not a good look.
Yeah. It's not, I mean, like I said, he's Bud Light sweet tea.
A little watered down.
And a little, like, either you like him or you don't.
Yep. So, Chris America, we talked about this on Friday, but I want to say that there was somebody that won the weekend. And I just need to announce this to everybody. Okay. The winner of the weekend is Aliens.
Aliens of the weekend? Yes.
Aliens won the weekend. Area 51.
Oh, man.
The hype is continuing to grow, man.
This is one of the greatest things to ever happen to us. There's been so many bad, stupid internet things. Sometimes it involves politics. Sometimes it involves tragedies. This is what we need. This is the summer. This is the way to round out the summer, is a good old Area 51 raid. And I've been sharing these memes like crazy this weekend.
Oh, yeah. They've been fantastic. They're all over the place. This is like the natter days of internet memes, right? Like, all of a sudden, this weird beer that you're like, oh, this is crazy. Why would you put these two things together? You take a sip of it, and the light bulb comes on. Like, this is the greatest thing for the summertime. And the Alien Area 51 invasion situation has been amazing, and we just have to continue this rolling.
Loudbeard, between that conversation and the Melvin Gordon comparing him to Bud Light, I kind of came up with an idea because I was thinking of fantasy draft with Melvin Gordon and like where he falls on fantasy draft. We need to have a party for football, maybe week 1. We invite a bunch of people, and we buy a whole lot of different beers, and you have to draft which beers you're going to drink during this party. So we'll line up like Bud Light, Coors Light, some IPAs, your Natter Days, and there'll only be one per brand of beer, one per flavor of beer, and then all of us and our friends will draft which beer we're going to have. So where you build like a 4-pack, maybe do 4 rounds. You have four beers that you have to drink during the party. Those are the only beers you're allowed to have.
There we go. I would be all for that. That would be an amazing opportunity. And Chris America, thank you for that idea. Another great idea that we have came right in on Twitter. Memphis Spence is saying that we need to broadcast live from Area 51. Why have I not thought of this? This is an amazing idea, Memphis Spence. He's coming in hot. Oh, I love it.
We need to figure out the Area 51 Wi-Fi password so we can stream it, because I don't think there's much cell service out there.
Yeah, we're going to have to bring a big giant satellite dish, put it on top of our 1982 Winnebago, and then drive out there, make it a little road trip, and we'll have a good old time, Chris America. The world
We'll do our beer
this.
draft, and it'll be great.
Oh, yeah, we'll do it. So it's fantastic. Man,
I signed up for that group, by the way.
What,
the best
Area
part about
51
that group, the Area 51 is called like we're gonna raid Area 51. They can't shoot us all, and the purpose of the group to see them aliens.
That's right. See them aliens.
Short, sweet, and to the point. To see them aliens.
Man, I need to join that group. Woo! That to me, the alien won the weekend. That was the greatest thing of the weekend. It wasn't Djokovic beating Federer in a classic epic battle in tennis. It was the internet versus aliens versus Area 51. And the internet wins every time, but the aliens in Area 51, they're feeling it right now. They know that this is a good deal.
Mm-hmm. Can't wait. And did you see that a lot of celebrities are jumping on board? Betty White says she's going to go.
Yes, we need her. She's an alien.
Keanu Reeves says he's down.
Yep, he wants to reunite with his people.
Chuck Norris is down.
Yes,
if Chuck Norris is there,
awesome.
I'm there. I'm just going to stand behind Chuck Norris.
Yes, yeah, it's basically like your own Captain America shield right there. Nothing can get through it. It's the strongest metal known to man.
Yes.
Is Chuck Norris.
And what do you think we're going to find in there? Do you think we're going to find all of the lost socks? Just a big pile of socks from what everybody lost over the years?
Oh, I missed this one. Where did it go?
I've been looking for this other sock, this left sock.
I'm actually, I'll be honest with you, I'd be curious to go in there to just see what there is.
I really would.
I think it would be like a movie set where I'm thinking of Independence Day when you walk down and you get in there, and then they have like an alien like in a big giant tube of some sort of bluish water. Yeah, some liquid where you're like, oh man, they're preserving it so they can dissect it. Oh, that's what an alien looks like.
And I want the alien, what is it? Ancient Aliens host, that guy, that GIF that you always see, the aliens GIF. I want him to be there with his crazy hair.
Oh, that would be perfect, Chris America. That would be perfect. Yeah, aliens would be perfect. I do have to real quick get on a serious note. I think something happened over the weekend that, makes me want to bring it up. I guess I just have to bring this up. And the Angels, they lost one of their pitchers, Tyler Skaggs, he was a 27-year-old. We lose him too early. So the Angels go out on the night to commemorate Tyler Skaggs, and they throw a no-hitter combined. Mm-hmm. Yep. And after the game, they go out and they lay all the uniforms on the mound. This was your I'm not crying, you're crying moment of the weekend, and it was an absolute beaut. And I love to see it when guys come together and celebrate and commemorate and really do the right thing. And this was just such a beautiful moment for Major League Baseball.
Yeah, this was definitely the second most shared thing on social media this weekend was that whole storyline. And it was really awesome to see. Like you said, I'm not crying, you're crying. And it's why it reminds you that, there's more to life than sports. And sometimes we need sports to kind of help us, overcome the tough times in life and commemorate things and honor other people. And so that was an awesome moment.
Yeah, it was a great moment of the weekend. And we always got to try to wrap our show up with the positive stuff. And I think that was one of the best stories out of the weekend. And, it's kind of a quiet sports time. We're just getting off of the All-Star break. We've got tennis was kind of hot over the weekend, but, it's a little bit quiet. We're in between NFL and we're out of the NBA, and all the big stories of the NBA are gone. So sometimes we just need a feel-good story to warm our soul, warm our heart, and make it feel a little bit better. And that's why I did not talk about Ezekiel Elliott and him getting charged by the security guard from his thing. I'm not going to talk about that because that's a bad story, and we hate Cowboys, and that's terrible for me to talk about.
So then we just won't talk about it.
Yeah, we will not talk about that at all. Tampa Bay Rays
go
fall 3
Rays.
outs away from a combined perfect game. It would have been the first combined perfect game of all time. So 3 outs away. They're in the top of the ninth, and they let in a single, and they end up breaking that perfect game. So 8 innings of perfect game.
Damn.
And you know what? 10 years ago, 15 years ago, 30 years ago, a pitcher who was throwing a perfect game would never have gotten taken out of a game. Nowadays, it's like it's this whole. That's why there was never a combined. If you're throwing a perfect game, you say, "All right, you ride it out." You
Yeah.
ride it out. You ride or die. But now we've gotten into a weird part of baseball where no hitter, perfect game, it doesn't matter. 6.5, 7 innings, get that pitch count high, you're out. It doesn't
You're
matter
out.
what you're doing.
Yep. Well, just like the Rays were out, or that pitcher for the Rays was out, looks like we're out now, Loudbeard. We're out of time.
Yeah, and we're out by saying, Memphis Spence, thank you for tweeting in that we need to get some Area 51 interviews. I completely agree. We just got to figure out which alien would be best to interview on our show. We'll find out.
Alf is the obvious answer.
Yeah, what about E.T.? Is he still alive?
I don't know. It's been like 40 years now. We're going to come up on the 40-year anniversary of E.T., and that'll be around our 40th birthdays, Loudbeard.
Yeah, I was born same year E.T. came out. I'm
Okay.
old, man. I'm
Old
man.
man.
I
All right,
feel
guys,
like-
have a good rest of your Monday. Peace.